Hello everyone, welcome to Design 104. This is week 3. Can you guys believe we're going to be finishing in 1 week? We've got 1 more week, or I guess 2 more weeks to this mod, and then next week is the final week. I just wanted to let you guys know, hey Joshua, thanks for joining us. We're just going to go over a few of the pointers today. As I'm sharing my screen, I want to talk to you guys about your to-do list this week. It looks like our assessment is only a quiz, so I guess if you want to cheer, yay. That means no assignment. Those are usually faster and a lot quicker than having to do a Photoshop assignment. And we only have one assignment and then a quiz for our assessment. So the assignment, though, should be a lot of fun. I mean, it's going to be pretty simple. There's only a few steps to this one, and we're going to be doing a demo tonight. And then I'm also going to show you how to apply it in the real world. How many of you have looked at the assignment? Okay, Daryl has. Okay, just about everybody has. Okay, good. So we all know what to expect, right? We're going to be talking about how to do some clipping. We're going to talk about how to work more with layer masks. I'm going to show you how to use some of the burn and dodge tools. We're going to get kind of creative with this one. You're supposed to find an animal and find an object that it can interact with, whether it's a staff or a hat or something. And then you're also supposed to add a few other things to it. I think there's 4 things that you have to incorporate. I'll be posting the grading rubric either tonight or tomorrow, so you should have it up before Saturday. So take a look at that. I'll post in the discussion when I've got it up. Are there any questions so far? Okay, if you have questions, go for it. Looks like Tamara's got one. And in the meantime, I wanted to go over the daily checkpoints. Hopefully those are a little bit easier for you guys when you can see it in class. You're having problems with the masking on this one? Yeah, and then when we discuss it, Tamara, in the actual demo, we can go over any questions that you have, absolutely. Any other questions? Okay, so we've got one assignment, which is supposed to be the fun one. You get to get a little creative in this assignment. I will do a demo. You're always welcome to copy the demo and turn it in. That's fine. Or if you want to do something on your own. But the point of this demo, I know some students have asked, well, what's the point of this? I mean, it's a fun, creative assignment, but how are we going to apply this in the real world? And I'm going to show you a lot of what we're going to be doing, a lot of the tools we're going to be using, and even the steps that we're going to be using, you can use in ad creation. If you were to go into advertisement, media, anything like that, the marketing industry, if you're designing for them, you're going to need to know how to do these things. So it does come in handy. It is helpful, even though we're using animals instead of actual products. It's the same concept. So that's what we're going to go through. Okay, so as far as the discussion, let's go to the discussion real quick. That's probably a good place to start. So Joshua says, can't find anything on pros and cons for the week's discussion. What we should be looking at here, we're talking about video editing software now. I posted a link. I think it takes you to Lynda, and lynda.com. Let's see, where's my post here? Go to this. It's not Lynda, it's Adobe's help. If you go here, if we click on this link, video editing basics, and then it's going to step you through titles, transitions, audio, how to cut and slice. Based off of your experience, if you tried creating a video last week, you can browse the Photoshop tutorials, video editing basics, applying filters to video clips. You can kind of maybe do a Google search of what videographers have to say about Photoshop, maybe the current Photoshop as opposed to some of the older Photoshop programs. You could try to take that angle. Something else you could do is, what about videographer versus graphic designer? What are the differences there? What are the pros and cons to that? Maybe when you're, is it easy to learn? Is it easy to transition from being a videographer to a graphic designer, or one who works in just print, and can they transition into the video video editing world. How easy is it to transition there? That might be another topic. And then just working with the software in general. Is it user friendly? Do you find it, being a novice, are you able to navigate after you've watched some of these tutorials? Tell me about your experience with it. So there's 3 different angles you could take there. I'll be posting, hopefully it will give you some ideas. Does that help, Joshua? So some of the pros and cons might be personal. Maybe you say personally, with my experience, having watched a few of these editing videos, I find that stuff's way over my head, or I found it surprisingly easy to follow along. So maybe there is something to incorporating video editing in the graphic design industry. Even though we work with print, maybe if we started working with TV and new media, maybe there would be some segue into that. So there's just a lot of different topics I'll be posting, so hopefully you guys can feed off of mine, and then we'll go from there. But if you still get stuck, you can email me. So some of the pros and cons can be personal, some of them can be industry standard. What are the pros and cons? Maybe the pros and cons of Photoshop Creative Cloud. What are the limitations of it? Have we figured that out yet? So just a few pointers to think about. Yeah, tracking, there you go. All right, so hopefully that helps. I'm going to go into, whoops, let's go into quizzes. And let's start with our quizzes for the week. Whoops. Hold on. There's our class. Okay, I didn't see it. I was like, where did our class go? Okay, so quizzes. Have you guys tried today's quiz yet? Have you all taken it? No? Okay, so some of you might know the answers then. I'll let you drive the ship. So let's do Tuesdays and take this quiz and see what we can do. Okay, so you watch this video. The shortcut for the lasso tool is A, S, L, or O. What do you guys think? L? Seems pretty, makes sense. That's correct. Good job. And it is very helpful to learn those keyboard shortcuts if you can, because it makes your job go a whole lot faster, so you don't have to keep transitioning, clicking the mouse, going in and out of the toolbar. All right, so this is a FAFSA question. How much does it cost to fill out the FAFSA? How much do you think? I'm going to say free, right? Because FAFSA is the government loan that you don't have to pay back. So for the federal student aid, there's not a whole lot of charges on that. How much does it cost? Oh, whoops, we already did that one. Okay, let's go do the next one. Okay, my eligibility will carry over from one award year to the next. What do you guys think? False, yep, because I think it's down here. You must reapply for aid each year. Good job. Hey, we're on a roll. Probably the best week yet. Okay, another video that's worthwhile watching. The shortcut key for the pen tool is Command P. True or false? Right. What is the right answer? I mean, what is the shortcut? Do you guys know? Yeah, it's just P, no command. That's right. Nope, just P. It even tells you right there. All right, where are we on? Saturday, we'll stop here. Okay, let's do the next one. The shortcut key to use the Quick Mask tool. Before colorizing, you'll want to lock your original layer to prevent the user from, what do you guys think? QM, Q, Command Q, QM. Kind of got a mix. What do we think? Is it just Q or Command Q? I'm seeing. It's Q. Good job, guys. Okay, so you guys should probably get 5s all across the board, right? And that's how it's done. Bam, just like Arthur said. Good job. All right, so without further ado, let's jump into Photoshop. Did you guys all get the email that I sent just a few minutes ago? Everyone should have received an email from me with some photos to download. Okay, if you can, hopefully you already have those downloaded and pulled into Photoshop. If you haven't, please pull them into Photoshop. Get your Photoshop loaded and pull them in before we start the demo. I am going to go to assignment 3 to show you guys. Okay, there are no dimensions on this, so I think it's at your discretion. I will be posting the grading rubric. There won't be specific dimensions, but you will be graded on how well you did 1 through 4, okay? So while Tamara's pulling up the photos, and anyone else who needs to pull them up at home who's watching this, I'm gonna go over this real quick. You need to pick a photo of an animal. You need to pick a photo of a hat, a crown, or a headpiece, and a photo of a prop. So it could be a briefcase, drinking glass, pencil, something that the animal can interact with. You need to pick a background, okay? So you need to have something in the background that, that you can add into your picture. What we're creating here is called composition, and a lot of composition ads have been designed before. And let me show you, I just did a quick Google search, and I want to show you some of these examples here. What we're creating is called a composition ad. So if you Google composition ad, advertising, it'll pull up some really cool images. All right, and a lot of the photos that you'll see, they're unnatural. You can tell that they're not real, but you can see the incredible amount of Photoshop work that had to go into creating this. So this tail is actually in the form and shape of a hand. That's pretty cool, and it's pulling the dog back with this leash. You've got this nice background here, and then the tagline, "The leash with liberties." So composition is often seen in the design world quite heavily. In fact, here's another composition ad. Again, it's a water splash, but they've shaped it in the form of a hand. And it's just pretty cool what they can do. You'll see this a lot with products. Sometimes restaurants will do this, but again, this is Pepsi mini cans, kind of cool. They shrunk down an ice cube tray and trying to advertise the mini cans, the appeal of having everything mini. So this is often seen. And so now with animals, maybe not so much, but you did see this one. Okay, that one's kind of, here's a whole load of them to, you know, get those creative juices flowing. Here's that's kind of small. Let me find one that's a little bit bigger. Here's a bigger one. So this looks like a guy who's painting on the pattern for the giraffes, and I think that's pretty clever. So these are just some photo manipulations that you'll find. Here's, I don't know if you can see this one, it's pretty small. A sheep with like a little slinky. You'll never be surprised. On the road again, that's kind of funny. But yeah, so these composition ads are pretty cool. And in fact, there's a whole load of ideas. But the one we're going to be doing is going to be King of the Jungle. And that's the theme that we're going to be using. So I've got a lion, I've got the jungle background, there's a crown that we're going to use. And I'm going to show you how to incorporate that in your design. Okay, so this is, if you're asking, well, why are we doing this? What's the point? This is why. We're creating composition, and it's often done in the design world. So if you can get really good at it, you get paid the big bucks. Yeah, this one's pretty hard. Let me get my Photoshop up. Hopefully you have yours. So this is the final product, okay? This is kind of what we're going for. King of the Jungle. We've got his crown. We've got him there. We've got this background. I haven't yet added other things to it, and I still might, depending on how much time we have, but this is kind of to give you the idea of what we're going to be creating, okay? So everyone, if you will, pull in your Napoleon picture. Whoops. Let's create a new document first. Okay, let's go File, New. Oh, you don't see. Thank you. Thank you. I forget. I have to share my. See the class. Okay, so let's go to There we go. Pull this up. Okay, so now we've got our screen up. There we go, much better. Thank you. Just holler anytime that happens. I'm toggling back and forth and I always forget the steps. So I'm gonna close out of these boxes that we don't really need right now. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna open out, do File New, and you'll wanna title it now. Don't wait to save it when I've noticed some of you guys forget to save it on your computer, and then when I'm looking at your assignment or kind of reviewing something, you'll save it then and there. So go ahead and give it a name. Okay, Design 104, this is assignment 3. Okay. So I don't really have width and height set. We'll probably want to, let's see, I'm actually gonna do File Open. You can set up your new document. I don't remember what the dimensions were, but in this case, I'm just gonna pull in the Napoleon photo. There we go. So in this case, I created a new document, but I forgot that I had my photo and it's already preset. So what you just do is go to File Open. So you can even skip the new document setup. File Open and we can work off of this photo, okay? You with me so far? I'm gonna unlock my background so I can work on it. Whenever it's locked, that means that you're not gonna be able to move it, you're not gonna be able to tweak it. So make sure that the layer is unlocked or unchecked here on the right. Okay, so this is Napoleon, and I want to do the King of the Jungle kind of theme. So what I'm going to do is start with bringing in the lion's head. All right, Tamara, you'll probably have to catch up with us towards the end. Just try to pull everything in. Is everyone else caught up, or should I hold back? Is everyone with me? We have our photos in? Okay. All right, let's move forward. Okay, so you don't have the email, Tamara? Check your junk mail. I sent it about an hour ago. Check your junk mail, or maybe do a search for my email and see if that comes up. If not, we can fix it during the break, or maybe just follow along for now. Okay, so we're gonna go to File, Open, or you know what? Do File, Place Embedded, and I'm gonna go find my lion picture. So I'm gonna place the photo into this layer already. I'm gonna position the lion. Now his head is obviously quite a bit larger than than Napoleon's. So we're gonna go to Edit, Retransform. I'm gonna hold down Shift to constrain the proportions. Now I don't wanna shrink his head down too much, but I don't want it to be completely unrealistic. So kind of right about there. And I'm going to position it right on top, right where his head is going to lie. And I want to have enough room because I'm going to have a crown. So his neck is right about here. Bring it down just a little bit more. Okay. I'll zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. Once you get it positioned just right, you can hit Command Save and it will place the photo. We'll say yes, give it a name. All right, now here's where we need to create a layer mask. Do you remember layer masks? I want to make sure I'm on my lion layer. I'm going to go up to Edit, Layer, Layer Mask, Reveal All. Same steps that we've done creating layer masks in the past. Okay, Joshua, so where'd you lose me? Shrinking the lion? Okay, so we haven't done anything else other than shrinking the lion. I did add a layer mask just now. So have you done that, shrinking the lion? Shrunk him proportionately. So go ahead and hold down Shift. You remember how to resize an object, right? Hold down Shift. Go to Edit, Free Transform, hold down Shift. Okay, so I'll back up. So to resize an item, I'll go to File, Place. I'll back up for you. Go to find your photo. Okay. Now that your photo is placed, you're going to hold down Shift, or if you don't see your photo highlighted, you go to make sure Free Transform is checked under Edit. So you've got Edit, Free Transform. Hold down Shift as you click and drag. And you want to make sure, kind of gauge good proportions here. Kind of center him here on the throne. Did you get that? So Edit, Free Transform, and then you hold down Shift, click and drag with your mouse, okay? So I've typed the instructions in there. So are you with me so far? Are we good? Anyone else have questions? Okay, perfect. All right, so we're going to move forward. Just interrupt me again if you guys get stuck. So now we're going to add our layer mask, okay? So we want to put it right here on our lion layer. Go to Layer, Layer Mask, Reveal All. Yeah, Layer Mask. That's what we're going to do. So I just added my layer mask right here, this white square, okay? Now you can't see anything on your canvas, but you can see it here on the Layers panel. Once you have that, remember we need to change it to black. So I'm going to get my paint bucket. I'm going to make sure the foreground here is black on my toolbar. So bring the foreground to black. And then you're just going to click on your layer right here. So now it will disappear, but you can see that our lion layer is still there. And now our layer mask is black. All right. So does everyone remember how to create a layer mask? So make sure your layer is selected. So I'll back up and I'll do that one more time. Okay, so we've added our layer by going to Layer, Layer Mask, Reveal All, and then you'll notice that our layer is white. Yeah, don't freak out, it's there. So don't just wait, just hands up. It's there. Yeah, it disappears, it's kind of trippy, but it's there. And you can see it's there because of our layers panel. So our layer, Joshua, so I'm talking to you, our layer mask is white now, okay? What we need to do is change it to black. So just make sure that on your toolbar, that your foreground is set to black. Grab your paint bucket and click on the canvas, okay? It will disappear, but you can see that our layer mask is now black. So this will allow us to paint in the lion's head. Do you want to share your screen if you're still stuck? Now at this point, Arthur, and those of you who are following along, we won't need to do anything else right now. We're just gonna grab our brush tool and we're gonna slowly, we need to switch the foreground color to white with our paintbrush tool. Just like week one, yeah, just like week one. This should be a really refresher course. We went over layer mask in week one. So we're just gonna grab our paintbrush and that's how we're gonna start painting our lion's head in, okay? So, I'll stop here so we can get some questions answered. But this should be just a refresher. This is nothing new. We learned this in week one and a little bit in week two. Okay, and I don't want any of that sky, but I wanted to get some of his hair, his fur. I want his mane to be very full, and I want it to kind of come over his coat a little bit. So you can kind of see him coming in. He's filling in nicely. All right, so we've got our lion's head. All right, so we'll stop here. Go ahead, Joshua, share your screen. And then we'll move to Tamara. Oops. Okay, so you did great. You got that layer mask. So make sure layer one is selected. You've added your layer mask. Now we need to change it to black, okay? So grab your paint bucket It's good. The foreground is set to black. Your paint bucket should just kind of, it's in one of those hidden tools. So hold down like the paintbrush tool maybe. Hold on, let me see. Muscle memory at this point. Okay, it's probably under your gradient tool, hidden tool. Hold down the gradient tool. There you go, your gradient tool. Up there, up, up, up. Nope, that's your rectangle tool. Right there. Gradient. And then grab your paint bucket tool. So now that your foreground is set to black, just click on the lion's head. Okay? Oh, you're gonna have to delete your layer. I don't think that layer mask, I don't know if it's correct. Go ahead and pull in the, okay, so now do layer mask, reveal all, and then make sure the foreground is set to black. No. It's got to be, click on that the double square on top of your foreground. Hit cancel. Do you see that little, yeah, that sets to white and black default. So now use the arrows to switch. Okay, now click on the lion. There you go. Okay, so now you're right where we need to be. Now grab your paintbrush and switch the foreground color to white. I would set your brush to be a soft round. So make sure the hardness is all the way down, or grab one of those glowing soft ones that are preset. There you go. And it would help if you zoomed in a little bit. So I like a brush that's a little bit bigger than, oh, what did you do? Go to your file or your edit and redo. There you go. And yeah, zoom in and then kind of scroll up, and then just kind of in circular motions, start where the face is and start painting your brush. And what it's going to do is remove the layer in the back. Now I do it very carefully because we don't want to get the sky. We don't want the bright blue. We just want the lion's head. Okay, so I'll let you work on that. Hopefully that helps you. And then who's next? Tamara, do you want to share your screen? Go ahead and share your screen. Did you find the email, Tamara? Oh, good. Okay, so why don't you, do you have all the items pulled into Photoshop? Okay, so what I'm going to have you do, Tamara, is pull in all the items in Photoshop. You're going to have that Napoleon pulled in first. Don't worry about creating a new document at this point. Just ignore that first step that we did. Just pull in the photo, Napoleon's photo. There we go. Okay, and then bring in the lion's head, and you'll want to unlock your layer. So it'll let you make some changes, and then just pull in your lion. And just resize it, just like you saw me do. Oh, you're gonna have to undo that. You need to hold down Shift to constrain your proportions. Remember, we don't want a skewed photo. You're gonna have to back up a few steps. It's still skewed. Hold down Shift. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold down Command Option Z to back up a few times. Command Option Z. Okay. You know what, Tamara? Just delete it and bring it back in. Yeah, just delete it and bring it back in. You just have to remember to hold down Shift. just, you have to delete your layer, the actual layer, just delete it. Hit delete on your keyboard. There you go. Okay, now bring in the lion. Okay, now hold down shift when you resize with the move tool, okay? It's already ready to go, so hold down shift, click and drag your mouse, okay? There you go. So kind of gauge, right? That might be good. That might be good right there. Now position it where you want and then added layer mask. Do you remember how to add layer mask? All right, so while you're adding, or while you're resizing, I'm going to answer the questions. Okay, so Daryl says, can you change the position of the photo after the layer mask? Yes, you can. It will just move along the painted area. So yes, you can move the position of the photo, absolutely. And then you'll just need to make sure you click on the actual photo and not the layer mask on your layer, if that makes sense. And then Arthur asked, I did the free transform, just click on the lion first and not the layer. Yeah, so same thing. Daryl, did you get that? Yeah, I saw that. Thank you. I didn't see the comment. Okay, good, good. Great job, Tamara. Okay, so now grab your paintbrush. Excellent job. And make sure that your foreground is white. Anyone else have questions? Are we good at this point? How's your lion head look? It disappeared. That's okay. Now use your paintbrush, Arthur, with your, and make sure the foreground is white, set to white, and then paint. Paint around the head. It's kind of erasing what's on the background. There you go. Remember, Tamara, do it slowly and just small circular motions because we don't want to get the sky. We don't want any of the brightness on it. So just kind of trying to go, maybe do a smaller brush, maybe. It's looking like Napoleon with a lion head. Perfect. That's exactly what it is. Okay, so Tamara looks like she's got it. We're going to move forward. So while you're fine-tuning your lion, okay, I'm going to move this up. Here's what you want to pay attention to when you're painting. I'll zoom in here. I don't want any of this sky because as you can see, it shows the crop of the photo. So just be very careful as you're going in with your brush, okay? Same thing with the bottom. We don't want to see the edge of the photo. See down here? I don't want to see that. Just maybe just this little bit of shadowing is really nice touch. It makes it look a little bit more natural. And maybe get the mane, make sure the mane's nice and full. All right. So now now that your lion's head looks similar to mine, how does yours look? Is it good shape? To answer Daryl's question, if you want to adjust or resize the lion's head, just make sure you're on lion 4, but make sure you're on your lion photo. Whoops. Make sure you're on your lion photo and you can go to edit, free transform again. Yeah, if you get some of the sky, you can either back up or I'll show you just now. We're going to use what's called the dodge tool or the burn tool. And I want you to use both of them for this lion's head. I believe it's the burn tool. Make it nice and small. The burn tool will darken it. So I'll zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. See how this kind of darkens? And I'm going to move in the motion of the fur. I want to darken some of this here on his mane because I want to cast a shadow onto him. So to darken the sky, just use the burn tool. Kind of go around and see how I'm kind of cleaning up the edges and I'm adding some shadow to him. I'm going to come in here. And then with that, I'm going to go to my dodge tool, which brightens things. So if you want to brighten or lighten something. So just kind of toggle between both of the tools until you get the look that you're going for, okay? And for me, I'm trying to darken everything. Trying to create shadow. Does that answer your question, Daryl? So now it looks pretty realistic to me, I think, for a low-res photo. Okay, so is everyone with me? We're using our dodge tool and our burn tool that can be found right here. Okay, either you'll see the dodge tool, which is the little syringe-looking thing, or the hand, which is the burn tool. Okay, those two tools will either lighten or darken. The burn tool is darkening it for me, so if you have lighter parts of the sky that you want to get rid of, just go over it with the burn tool. All right, any questions at this point? Okay, so Joshua, if you'll go ahead and share your screen. Okay, it's the dodge tool, so right there, go up, or I'm sorry, down one more. Hold it down. That right there is the dodge tool. You can use the burn tool as well to kind of create more realistic look around the mane. Okay, anyone else need help? Did you guys find the tools? It's a hidden tool, so it might be hiding under one of them. All right, so are there any questions at this point? Yeah, so he's just darkening it. Now remember, just try to maintain, don't go hog wild, but just kind of maintain the integrity of the photo because we want it to look we want his mane to be as full as possible. Okay. How do you make the burn darker? Well, it only became dark down here because there was a shadow. It's not going to necessarily darken it. It's just going to kind of burn the color away. So if you have a really light background, that's about as dark as it's going to get. You can do a series of, a way to do it is you can change the opacity on your paintbrush. So when you're going over, you don't use your opacity set to like 35%. So it's not a full 100%. I would recommend doing that when you're creating your mane because then it will preserve some of the darkness around the photo. Your burn is just a mode. So there's no way to like go in and make it a little too dark. Yeah, Tamara, you want to share your screen? Go for it. Nice job. So Tamara, real quick, with the tool, I'd probably back up a little bit because you don't want that sky. You just want to go to the edge of the mane ever so slightly. And what I recommend doing is dropping the opacity on your brush tool so it doesn't paint it 100%. Yeah, and use Command Option Z. Can you hold Command Option Z on your keyboard? Because Photoshop only lets you go so far to undo. So if you want to keep going further, just, yeah, until you get to a point where you're happy with it. And then just adjust the opacity on your paintbrush and just only do the mane. You don't want to do the edges of the photo. So you'll have to go and touch it up and kind of play with it a little bit. Just remember, just do the head, do kind of like an oval. We don't want to do a square. There's a reason why we have the layer mask. We're trying to only mask his face. All right. So work with that and see if you have any questions. Okay, anyone else? You guys have any questions? You guys happy with the results? And again, you can practice this after class to kind of fine tune it. It's always rough going when you're seeing something for the first time and trying to work alongside. But this is essentially the look that we're trying to go for. So it's kind of a cool photo already. Now what we want to do is go to the background. I'm going to hide my lion's head. So make sure we're on the background layer, unlock it, and I'm hiding my lion mask, my lion's layer mask. I'm going to zoom in here. Whoop, far too much. But I am going to get close because I want to copy this throne in the back. I'm going to grab my lasso tool, actually my pen tool. Now this takes some getting used to, but I'm going to click and drag to create arches along the way. Click and drag. And I'm just kind of tracing the throne. Whoops, I'm going to back up a little bit. Trying to copy the arches as best I can. And then it might help if I set my fill to, let's see, where is my stroke? Set my fill to transparent right up here so that it doesn't cover what I'm trying to do. All right, so now that I have traced everything, I'm going to grab my fill bucket. It's going to ask me if I want to, cancel. I'm going to fill it with green, and you'll see why in just a minute. Okay. So are you guys with me at this point? I traced it with the pen tool. You can also use the magnetic lasso tool, but the pen tool gives a more realistic look. It allows you to create the arches. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. Once I've done that, I went ahead and grabbed my paint bucket tool and I picked a bright green. Okay, it can really be any color, dark green, green for the jungle. Okay, we're going to create this kind of crowning, glowing effect on his chair. So I'm on my own layer now, shape 1. Okay, and I'm going to go to the color modes, and I'm just going to mess with the mode just to see what it looks like. Let me try overlay. There we go. Overlay looks good. I like that. So I'm going to stick with that. And I'm going to grab my eraser tool. And I'm going to zoom in really nicely. And I'm going to try to erase the green portion that's over the scepter. So I'll grab my erase tool and I'll make it nice and small. I'm going to kind of just go over it. I don't want that green overlapping with the scepter. I just want it to be kind of glowing from behind the throne. So with my eraser tool, I'm just going in and kind of touching that up. All right. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is a low res photo, so it is hard to see. But when you zoom out, it looks really nice. Now, if you bring in the lion's head there, you can kind of see what we've done, and it will all come together in just a minute. All right. So I'll go to questions. We'll go to Joshua for help. I'll stop there. Okay, Joshua, go ahead and bring your screen in. Very, very good job. I also wanted to point out that if you grab your smooth tool, I think it's under your, where's the smooth tool in Photoshop? I'm so used to Illustrator, I've got to go check it. Hold on. Let me see if there is even one in Photoshop. 1 second. Maybe not. Man, I wish they'd have some of these tools. Okay, never mind. Yours looks good. Let me go back to your screen. Okay, so now go ahead and get the paint bucket tool and click on your swatches, pick a green color. Hit okay. Now, do me a favor, before you paint it, I think it has to be on its own layer. So if you'll copy it, can you hit Command C? And then create a new layer. All right, and now paste it, Command V. Did it paste? Now go ahead and fill it with the bucket and see if it appears. Oops, undo. Okay, so what we're gonna need to do is go back to layer 0. Now do Command C. Whoops, undo. Did you do Command C? Not Z. C is in cat, Command C for copy. Okay, and then go back to your layer 2 and paste. Command V is in Victor. Okay, and once you've pasted it, try painting it. No? Okay, you're gonna have to back up then. I'm not sure why it's not working. You might have to redraw it. Maybe not. Go back to layer 0. Let's try it on layer 0. Did you trace it on layer 0 or did you trace it on layer 1? Which layer did you trace it on? Try painting it now that you're on layer 0. Oh, no, you painted the background. Undo. Paint inside. Yeah, the black arrow should be where you're pointing. Okay, now that's fine. Undo. I'm not quite sure where, it looks like the trace wasn't done, maybe, so correctly. So what we're gonna need you to do is maybe back up to redo the trace all over again, okay? So go ahead and undo that. You'll have to hold down Command Option Z, as in zipper. Command Option Z to undo all the steps. Keep going. Just keep backing up. Good pen. Actually, I was going to commend you on your pen tool use. Usually that takes a lot of people time to master, but you did a very good job. I hate to make you draw it again, but I guess it'll be good practice. So go ahead and draw it again. And what you want to do is make sure that your original anchor point, that you end on your original anchor point, okay? Yep, so just kind of position those anchors. If you click and hold as you pull back on the pen tool, it will arch for you. Yep, and then release, and then just keep doing it again. And kind of just position it where it looks good. So once you draw that, Joshua, let me know and I'll help you. Does anyone have any questions? Tamara? Go ahead, Tamara, and share your screen, and I'll come back to you, Joshua. Once you're, just let me know when you're done drawing. Okay, very good. So you did very good. Okay, so what we're going to need to do is you need to get rid of some of the beard on the bottom there. So a way to do that is go to your burn or your dodge tool and use the tool on the darker parts that you want to get rid of. So kind of move over those darker parts on that black area. Now you're at 50% exposure, so if you want to see more, you can increase that. It's kind of like your opacity. It just, the flow of which, or kind of controls the flow. If it's not making any changes, you might have to use your eraser tool. And again, I would reduce the opacity to like 50%. So just use the eraser tool, Tamara, until you get the, I guess, the result that you're looking for. I'd make your brush a lot bigger. Make it bigger because you don't want harsh lines. And make sure it's a soft, round brush, okay? Bring your hardness all the way down to 0. Yep, make sure it's all soft, and you can do a bigger brush and just kind of maintain the fluffy. You want to maintain the integrity of his mane. You want it to look as real as possible. But don't go overboard on it, okay? And then use your burn tool and your dodge tool around the mane so that you can make sure you keep it natural, okay? All right, Arthur, go ahead and share your screen. We'll just kind of make the rounds here. Okay, excellent, Trace. So go ahead and make sure you're on, or hit Command-C to copy. And then do Command-V to paste. Oh, actually, you're on, did you trace it on Lion 4 or did you trace it on layer 0? Layer 0, okay, so Command-Paste, or Command-C and then Command-V to paste. Did you paste it? So what you need to do is make sure you're on layer 0, and then if you pasted it already, then you need to grab your move tool. Can you grab your move tool and move it? You'll know if you did it right if you can move it. Does it look like, okay, now fill it with green then, with your paint bucket tool. See if that worked. Okay, it's not, something got lost in transition. And let me show you guys again. It looks like you guys are all getting stuck in the same spot. I probably wasn't very clear on my tutorial. So I'll back up here a few steps. I'll back up on my trace. All right. So make sure you're on layer 0. Here's why. You're trying to copy the throne, okay? Don't be on line 4 because there's nothing to copy. So make sure you're on layer 0. So everyone start over, or if you need to. And I'm going to do the pen tool really quick. So I'll go in and I'm going to trace it. I'm going to go back here. If it starts filling in, you can adjust your fill to transparent for now. Sometimes it's a good way to see if it works. We're going to go in here. And you always want to end on your original anchor point, okay? All right, once you've done that, Command-C, Command-V will paste it. Oops, hold on. Where'd it go? There it is. All right, and then when you paste it, you'll see the shape 1 layer appear. Grab your paint bucket tool and paint. It'll ask if you want to rasterize it, say yes. All right, so let's go to Arthur. Let me watch you, Arthur, real quick, because you were the one that you were trying to draw it and it wasn't working. Go ahead and share your screen, Arthur. All right, so make sure you're on layer 0, that's right. And do me a favor, what pen tool are you using? Can you hold down on that pen tool? Go to the pen, okay, it is selected. Now go to, let's see, where is your, can you click down on the drop-down menu on your pen tool icon at the top left of your Photoshop? Click down. I need to see where your fill and stroke is. No, not there. Click off of it. Let's see. Go to your, all right, just keep drawing. Keep drawing. Just make sure you end on the original anchor point that you created. Okay, so go in and draw. When you're done, let me know, and I'm going to go to Joshua. Okay, Joshua, can you pull your screen up? Okay, so can you do something quick for me? Okay, go ahead and grab your, I want you to copy it. Can you do Command-C, copy? and Command V to paste it. Did you paste it? If you did, I don't see it. Go to your move tool. If you could grab your move tool for me and hold down Alt Option, click and drag. That will copy. That's the keyboard shortcut to copy it. Yeah, bring it down, click and drag. When you see the double arrows, that means it's copying it. You don't want to copy, no, grab the inside of, is it letting you, oh, you know what? It doesn't look like you finished. Can you zoom into your original anchor point for me? It's very crucial that you have to end on the original anchor point. So you have to zoom in quite a bit. So can you zoom in at the original anchor point for me? On the left there. Okay, scroll over. All right, so yeah, yeah, just position it back where it is. Let me see how I can help you guys. Okay, I know what's going on. Click on your pen tool one more time. This is what the problem is. I want you guys to check yourself. Pen tool is selected up top on your pen tool icon. Go to make it say, click on path. You want shape. Okay, now you can adjust your fill. So create the fill to be green. Yeah, you want it to say shape. Minor detail. Mine's automatically on that, so I'm sorry I didn't recognize it before. Click on green if you will. Just click on the fill box. Did it do anything? Can you double click on it? It didn't do anything? Okay, just give it a fill. Now you can copy it. So Command C. But before you do that, you have to position your layer 0. It looks like you shifted it, so it's not going to copy the throne perfectly. So yeah, you're going to want to make sure it's all positioned, then copy and paste it. Then you can fill it. So yeah, move your image where you want it to be. Arthur, does that help? That good? Okay. So you'll either need to kind of position it again or redraw it, but now fill it with green. Grab your paint bucket tool. Oh no, you have to copy it. Copy and paste. So Command C, Command V. Did it paste? Okay, now see if you can move it. If it copied it, you'll be able to move it. No, you grabbed on the inside of the actual arch. No, okay. Try copying. Command C. Command V. Try giving it a fill. Go back to your pen tool. Try giving it a fill. Grab the paint bucket or double click on your fill box. It should open. Click on the arrow at the bottom right of your fill box. It should open for you. It doesn't open? Okay, that's strange. Can you deselect Align Edges for me on the far right at the top of your screen? It's a little checkbox at the very right side of your fill and stroke box. Keep going, keep going. Align Edges. Move over to the left a little bit more. See those two checkboxes at the top where it says Adobe Photoshop? At the top of your screen, there's little checkboxes along that toolbar at the top right. Nope. You see where it says width and height, your dimensions? Okay, move over to the right. Keep going until you see Align Edges. Keep going, keep going. It's a checkbox. Keep going. Align Edges. Deselect it, please. There you go. And now, let's see what else. What would help you? Make sure your stroke is set to transparent. Does it let you select your stroke? Your stroke is the red square up top there. It doesn't let you make any changes. Okay. What you might need to do is redraw it now that it's on the shape mode, because I think before it was on the path mode, so now it's not gonna I think you're gonna have to redraw it, unfortunately. So again, you'll get some more practice, but once you've done that, make sure you're on the shape mode. Pick green as your fill, or I'm sorry, make sure fill and stroke are transparent. Fill and stroke are transparent. There you go. Make sure your fill is transparent as well. That way when you're drawing, it won't color it in for you. And then once you've drawn it with under the shape mode, you should be able to make that green change. Just trying to copy and paste. Okay. All right. Now, Arthur, you may not be able to do it if you already used your pen tool on the path mode. If you just tried to switch it to shape, you just discovered it's not going to let you. So you're going to have to redraw it on the shape mode. You restarted it? Okay. So I'll go ahead and share your screen, and then we'll go ahead and take our break. We'll get through everybody's questions, and then we'll take our 10-minute break. Okay. So go ahead, Arthur, if you want to pull yours up. Okay, perfect. So, yep, keep it. Well, I wouldn't do green yet, but you can do the shape mode. So just keep drawing it until you've come back to it. You know you're doing it right because your shape layer has already been created, so you won't need to copy and paste. So once you've come back to your original anchor point, then you can fill it in with green, okay? So draw the whole thing for me, and then when you've done that, let me know, and then we'll fill it with green, okay? So keep drawing, because you're on the correct mode now. Now that I see that shape one layer, that makes me happy. That means you're doing it correctly. All right, so keep drawing. Who's next? Tamara, go ahead or let's see, Daryl. Daryl's next. Daryl, can you please share your screen? Okay, so your shape one is green. I see it. Bring it up to the front. Bring it above. It's right now. It's hiding behind your Napoleon picture. You have it. It's just hiding. You got to make sure that your layer is on the top. There you go. Yay! So you did it. Okay, so now go to the color mode. See where it says normal on your layers panel. You want to click that drop down menu, and I think I chose overlay to get the effect I was going for. Yeah, cool. Okay, so now that you have that, you're going to want to get the eraser tool, position it where you want, get the eraser tool. By the way, your pen job looks excellent. The pen tool, very, very good. Good arch on that, nice clean arch. You'll want to grab your eraser tool, and it'll ask you if you want to rasterize it. You'll say yes, and then you'll kind of zoom in really close on that scepter, and then just kind of erase on the scepters, because you don't want the scepter green. You just want the throne green. Excellent job. Okay, so you did it right. Good job. All right, so now Tamara, your turn. And we'll go to Tamara, and then we'll take our 10-minute break after this. So Tamara, if you want to share your screen for me. Okay, good job. So, got your shape. Did you draw your shape? Yeah, so you'll just kind of, you're probably going to have to start over. It looks like you have an anchor point. Is it connecting? Okay, it's connecting. That's fine. Set your fill to transparent, because you won't be able to see what you're doing when you get further along. So it usually fills it in for you, and it's hard to see your line. So yeah, just trace the throne. Remember, click and drag your anchor point once you've clicked, and it will arch it for you. Pen tool is very hard to master, so I recommend just kind of practicing. This is not a necessary part of the assignment, so if you feel like the pen tool is too much, you could try your magnetic lasso tool. That's also an option. Yeah, Joshua. So if you've got the color, so just use your eraser tool and erase it around the scepter. But you have to make sure that your shape layers on top of your Napoleon layer. I'll help you in just a minute. So yeah, Tamara, you want to grab the pen tool and just click around. You'll keep clicking. It's a continuous line is what you're creating. So once you've clicked, you just kind of click around, trace the throne is basically what you're doing. And this might take some practice. So if you can't master it in class, you can always see the Student Success Center or just practice it at home. Another thing that you can do is the magnetic lasso tool, and that one usually is a little bit more forgiving. So why don't you try that, Tamara? If you undo, just kind of delete what you've done and grab your magnetic lasso tool and see if that will be a little easier to use. It is important to master the pen tool, but in this class, it's a little tricky to get used to. I tell you, designers spend their whole lives still trying to master. I'm still trying to master the pen tool. So either use your polygon or your magnetic lasso and then kind of click around the throne. And the idea is here is it'll kind of magnetically maintain the line of the throne for you. So you want to trace, get as close to that throne as possible. Keep clicking. You want to come back around to your original anchor point, okay? So keep tracing the throne. So I'm going to let you practice that. Keep practicing. Looks good so far, and then we'll come back. All right, Joshua, we're going to take our 10-minute break, and then when we get back, I'll help you with the stick thing, okay? Just try using your eraser tool on that part. That might help. All right, so we'll come back after 10 minutes, and we'll finish up this tutorial. Okay, guys, so who needs help? Where are we at? Joshua, did we get to you? Go. Did you want to pull up your screen? Did you figure it out? Yay. Oh, that looks so good. Very good job. Okay, so zoom in for me. You want to get as close as you can so you can see the detail of the scepter there. You grab your eraser tool and just start erasing. Oh, you're going to want to make, yeah, just start erasing. Make sure you're on your, let's see, why is it not showing up? Oh, you're on 23% opacity. You need to make sure you're at 100. So change the opacity on your eraser and then you can start erasing away. All right, nice job. So just try to get as close as you can. Make sure your brush has a soft round to it, kind of a fuzzy glow, and that will give it a more natural, it's very forgiving. The edges are forgiving. So when you're going on the edges of the scepter, it's easier to get close and not have such harsh edges. Okay, so Arthur, oh, it looks like Tamara's first. Okay, Tamara, go ahead and pull up your screen, and then we'll move to Arthur. Very good job, Tamara. I'm impressed. Okay, so now what I need you to do is copy and then paste it. Does it allow you to do that? So if you hit Command, wait a second. Hey, Tamara, I'm going to turn on your mic for a minute. I need to find out what you did exactly. Okay, Tamara, you're unmuted.
Okay.
So what tool did you use to get that?
The magnetic lasso tool.
Okay, very good job. Okay, so does it let you copy? Command C as in cat? Command C as in copy?
Yeah, I tried that. I don't know if I'm...
And did you paste it? Command V?
Okay, there it is.
There it is. Okay, so now get your paintbrush or your paint bucket and click in the middle of it. It should allow you to paint it. Oh, nope. Your black arrow needs to be in the middle of the item that you're trying to paint, not the paint bucket. It's kind of weird that way. So click on it. Yeah, so right in there. Click on a different area for me. Okay, so what it did was it copied the actual picture and it didn't create a shape. So we'll have to go around this because I'm not going to make you draw it again for sake of time. So go ahead and undo that. And go to your, let's see what it is. Go to image adjustments and go to hue and saturation. We're going to have to do it this way because we don't have time to have you retrace it. So adjust the hue, move the hue and saturation box so you can see the effect it's making on, wait, don't make any changes until you can see it. Can you move the box so that you can see the arch? Yeah, there you go. So move the box and now make it until you can kind of get a green shade to it, because just kind of move it up and down until you get green instead of a different color. Keep going, maybe go the other way if you don't see it. And kind of stop when you get to a shade of green that you like. That looks good. Oh, I'll probably go back a little bit. There you go. I'd stop there. Okay, hit OK. And then I would mess with the mode, like under your layers panel where it says normal. There's different kinds of modes that you can set it to under your layers panel, your panel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, under normal. Do you see that drop down menu, normal? We set everything to overlay, but that's because we had shapes. So you can kind of maybe do multiply or color burn or just kind of play with them and see if you can get an effect that you like. If you don't like the effect, just go back and try another one. Maybe try overlay. Can you try overlay for me? See if that does anything. There you go. That kind of gives the glow that we want. So I would go in and erase the green on your scepter. So zoom in and get your eraser tool. Okay. So I'll go ahead and mute you. And while you're doing that, I'm going to move forward. Let's see, where's everyone at here? Okay, Arthur. Oh, you got it? Okay. Figured it out. That's what I like. Independence there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move forward with the tutorial just because we're going to run out of time and I won't be able to get to the end of it. We can do questions in just a minute. Okay. So with this shape, everyone figured out, you're going to set your color mode to overlay. And in Tamara's case, she copied the actual crown instead of drawing a shape. That's a way around it if you don't feel comfortable enough to use the pen tool. Again, this is not part of the grading process, but it is something very handy to know. So I'm going to go in and erase around the scepter. Make sure all that green. So now that creates the effect that my glow is behind my scepter, okay? All right, so now it's time to add a little bit of jungle fever here. We're going to grab the jungle background that you had in that email. I'm just going to bring it in. And I'm going to make it pretty large. I want it to end up right around here, the base of his throne. So I'm going to increase it. Whoop, increase it. And bring it down to right about here, the edge of the fabric. Right here, okay? Where the maroon touches the gold fabric. And just make sure that everything's positioned. You don't want any edges like this. You don't want any gaps at the top. You want it all to be a nice rectangle. You'll place it. You can position it where you want it to. The darker the spots, the better. And this, unfortunately, this photo doesn't really have any dark spots, so it's not gonna, you can find another jungle photo if you'd like, but we'll try to make this one work. Okay, so then I'm gonna go to, I'm gonna create a layer mask on this one. I'm gonna hide my lion. I'll create a layer mask. Layer, layer mask. And again, we want to make sure the foreground is set to black, just like we did. Click it, it will disappear. Grab your paintbrush, make sure the foreground is set to white, okay? And then here's where we're going to kind of erase it, but I'm going to do a smaller opacity on this because I still want it to be dark. And you want to just kind of erase around it. I don't want to get the hand. Make sure that whatever you're erasing, you want to preserve the background of, or not the background, but the throne and the scepter. You want to make sure you maintain that. So you don't want to paint over the scepter. You don't want to paint over this. Kind of go around it, a subtle trace. And I'm going to set my opacity even lower. I don't want the full jungle. Kind of want this dark background. So you know what? I'm even going to back up a little bit. So I'm going to set my opacity to about 5 or 10% as I'm doing this, because that'll actually give me the effect that I'm looking for. Because I want it to be dark. I just want the jungle to be kind of in the background. There, that's what I want. Okay. So try to follow along if you can. I'm just using my eraser tool to get this effect. You want this nice, even, dark layer, and you get that by adding a very light opacity on your eraser tool. And if you want more jungle to show, you can continue to go over it or increase the opacity on your eraser. I like the dark, just like that. And then you can play with the settings until you find something that looks good. I don't think this needs a setting, honestly. I don't think I can find one that I super love. Maybe this pin light might work. That's kind of cool effect. But make sure you're applying it to your jungle layer and nothing else. So this pin light kind of adds this really dark jungle look behind. All right. Look at that edge of that throne there. And I don't want to paint the throne, I just want to paint along the edges of it, okay? I've got this jungle in the background that's looking really nice. Okay, Joshua lost me. All right, so I'll stop there. That's how you bring in your background. Joshua, if you want to share your screen, we'll bring you up to speed. I'm sorry, I was on mute. If you go to edit, free transform, what we need to do is resize the image so that it's larger. Apologize. Here you go. Hold on shift, and you want to make it, you want it kind of where that maroon fabric ends on that bottom left side underneath that tassel. No, 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 no. No, undo everything. Just undo. We never stretch a picture. We always hold down shift before we resize something. That constrains the proportions. Very important. There you go. Hold on shift. Excellent. Great job. So kind of, yeah, bring it down. Keep going. Tell about that into that throne. Right about there. Whoa. Actually, it really doesn't matter where it ends, but that's usually a good place to put it. So that's good. Kind of position it where you want it to be. And then what we're going to do is you already added your layer mask, it looks like. So now we'll just need to use the brush tool. Okay, so apply the transformation, grab your paint bucket tool because we need to bring black to the foreground for our layer mask to work. There you go. And now grab your paintbrush tool and bring white to the foreground. There you go. And just bring your opacity to about 5%, 5 or 6%, really low, because we want to maintain a really dark background. And then just kind of brush around, kind of paint the area around the throne. All right, try that and see. Yeah, there you go. And just paint until you get the desired effect that you're going for. So then you're all caught up. Does anyone else have questions? You guys with me so far? Okay, and then I set, when I was all done painting with the paintbrush, I set my color mode to pin light under my layers. Okay, Tamara, what are your questions? So I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and finish the tutorial, and that way I can at least get through it, because we're running out of some class time. And then I'll come back and answer questions at the end. Does that sound good? How did I do the mask with the jungle? I didn't add a layer. Oh yeah, you're right. It's the same way that you added the layer mask on the lion. Do you know how to add a layer mask? Let's bring it in. Can you share your screen? So it's the same thing, Tamara. If you add a layer mask to the jungle background, don't get thrown by layer masks. It's the same steps. So you create a layer mask, grab your paint bucket, and then your paintbrush tool. So yeah, so what you've got here, this is good. Did you add a layer mask to it? Doesn't look like it. Can you do that for me? Your photo is resized perfectly, so it looks good. Layer mask, reveal all, good. And then you show me how to add a layer mask. What do you need to do? Yep, black is in the foreground. Hit OK. Yeah. Good. And then what? Now you need your paintbrush, right? And you set your foreground to white. So remember, it's black first and then it's white. There you go. And if you set the opacity to about 5 or 10%, it will stay dark for you, which is what we want. It's kind of a light background, so we don't want any of that light. I kind of like the mysteriousness of the dark background. So yeah, and then start painting around the throne. Okay, you don't want to paint the scepters. You don't want to paint the hands. You just kind of want to paint around the throne. You want a very dark background, but you just want to see a little bit of that jungle come in. All right, so you're all caught up. Anyone else? Joshua, how's it coming? Look good? So I'm going to go ahead and move forward, and then I'll stop and take questions. I just want to make sure we get this tutorial in time. Okay, so next what we're going to do is grab the crown. I think that's the last thing that's on the list. Where's my crown? Okay, here it is. We're going to resize this. So I bring in my crown, and I'm going to go ahead and show the lion's head now, so that I'll go ahead and place it. I'm going to make the lion's head visible so I can see what I'm doing. I need to follow my own advice and save my file. Okay, there's the lion's head. Okay, so now for the crown. You want to bring the crown on top. So make sure the layer's on top. We want to kind of gauge the size of the crown. You want to make it look realistic. Go ahead and create a layer mask again on this crown. So on the crown layer, you're going to go to Layer, Layer Mask, Reveal All. Foreground is set to black. You're going to grab your paintbrush and set it to white. Remember, you adjusted your opacity, so I want it to be 100 now. Now, if it shows any of your crown, we're going to grab the eraser tool, or we're just going to go in, kind of erase around it. I'll zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. So I want to definitely get rid of the hard edge of the black photo. Kind of go in here, get as close as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, because then we're going to grab our dodge tool, color burn tool. We're going to go in and make some tweaks to it. What's nice with having the background dark is it's very forgiving when you're drawing or when you're placing other photos with a layer mask. All right, so I've got my crown, looks good, nice and royal. What I'm going to do is grab my burn tool over here. Let me bring my toolbar over so you can see my burn tool right here. And I'm just going to go over the edges. I like the shadowing there, so I'm going to keep it, but I'm going to just kind of, and then I'm going to go over it again with my dodge tool. The dodge tool will add some dark shadows to it. So I'm going to add shadowing where I want it to fall. I'm going to add some shadow to his right side. There we go. All right, so that looks good. And then I'm going to go to, let's see what else we need to do. That might be good for now. Okay, so we'll stop there. His crown looks good. He looks very royal. Now here's the next step. We need to make his arms a lot bigger, right? You got your crown, but it's black. Okay, I'll answer questions in just a minute. I'm gonna finish the tutorial, get through it, and then we'll bring you back to speed. We need to make his arms and his legs, they're kind of puny, Napoleon style, but this is the king of the jungle, so he needs to have big arms, big legs. So we're gonna go to, I think it's, I forget where it is on the, it's under liquify. Okay, filter, liquify. This setting will bring in, oh, whoops, I'm on the wrong layer. Oops, cancel. Go to your layer 0, then go to filter, liquify. And here is where you're going to bloat the arms a little bit. You don't want to go crazy with this setting because you don't, it will start looking unnatural, but it kind of spreads out the pixels a little bit. So it makes them look more buff is what we're doing. So I'm going to kind of go to the bloat tool, which is right here on my screen. It's that circle with 4 arrows, north, south, east, and west. In the middle here, right here. Can't see it? It's over here. Do you see my arrow, my big arrow? Do you see that? You see my big arrow? No, you can't see that? Okay, let me see. Let me try sharing a different view. Okay, so we're gonna go to filter, liquify. Hopefully you can see it now. Can you see it? See this bloat tool right here on the far left? It has those, okay, good, we can see it, yay. Okay, so kind of just click a few times. You see his arm starting to bulge better? Thank you for telling me. But kind of beef him up a little bit. Because after all, now you'll notice it kind of can warp, so we just want to make sure I'm just clicking a few times to kind of make his arms heavier. I want to click his legs to make them a lot bigger. And I don't want to go crazy because it will start looking unnatural. I kind of want to make him look like there is actually a beast under this robe. And I'm going to do his forearm here. And his hands definitely need to be nice and big. Kind of a cool effect, huh? This one's fun. All right, so now he's beefed up a little bit. We're gonna hit save. Let's see, can't see, hit OK. All right, so it's now made the changes for us, all right? So the only step that you would be missing on this assignment is to add another element in. The one thing I thought of you could do is bring in like a skull or something and have it setting on these mantles. Let me see if I can find. Let's do. We want it to be realistic. There we go. This is what I want. Okay, so we'll do like an animal skull. And you probably want it fairly large. The smaller the photo, the harder it's going to be realistic. So don't want human. Maybe this guy right here should do. I'm going to bring this in. I'll just drag it to my desktop for now. And then I'm going to open up Photoshop, File, Place, Embed. See where I saved it. Animal skull, place. All right. So this is my new layer. I'm going to grab I'm going to hit save or place. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my eraser tool, and I'm just going to erase this portion here that we don't need. I don't need this part. Okay. Now I'm going to go to Edit, Transform. The idea here is I'm going to set it on his mantle. I want one on each side. I think that'd be kind of cool. Hit apply. Cancel. And in fact, I'm going to bring it over here on this one, and I'll show you something cool that you can do. I'm going to bring it over to this mantle. I'm going to add a layer mask. Layer, layer mask, reveal all. Again, these are the same steps we've been doing all night long. Make sure black is in the foreground. Grab a brush, make sure white's in the foreground. And here's where I can go in and adjust grab my skull. So here's the idea. I'll back up so you can see it. I want to zoom in. Oop. All right, I'm going to zoom in here where the robe, I want the robe draped over my skull. So to give it that effect, I'm going to go to my paintbrush and just kind of trace the outside. I'm just making my brush small. Because it's a PNG, it won't have a background, so I can just erase freely, but I want to make sure I trace around the sides of the scepter. That way it shows that it's underneath. There we go. So that's kind of cool. So he's draped now underneath the robe. So layer masks are actually really helpful. They're really neat, giving you that effect. And then I can add another skull here on his right side. So for sake of time, I will stop. This is the final product, and I think it looks kind of cool. You could also crop it if you wanted to. Cropping it by grabbing the rectangle marquee tool and just kind of ending it here. But it's up to you what you want to do. Okay, you don't have to use the animal skull stuff, Arthur, but we've only done 3 of the 4 steps. So you'll have to add something else in there. You could add maybe an animal here at the bottom of his feet or something. The 4th step is, I think one of the steps is to add an extra object to this picture. So that's why the skull is there. All right. So what are the questions? Who's first? Your crown is black. Okay, let's start with Joshua. Okay, Joshua, go ahead. Okay, so yeah, your crown is black. Let's see what we did to it. So have you applied the layer mask to it? Yes? Okay, so once you have the layer mask, you'll need to, okay, and did you use the paint bucket and it turned black on you? You'll probably have to delete the layer mask and start over. Okay, so now go to layer mask, reveal all. We're gonna get so good at layer masks because we're doing it all over the place here. All right, so okay, click once. Okay, now go get your paintbrush tool. If it doesn't work for you the first time, just create a new layer. I mean, something went wrong the first time, which it often does. So then you kind of want to start in the middle of the crown. You don't want to paint the edges. We don't want to see the edges of the picture, just the crown itself. So yeah, you just start painting. You want, remember, white needs to be in the foreground for the paintbrush. Yeah, there you go. Just kind of trace the edge of the crown. We don't want the black border of the picture, but yeah, that's great, perfect. So just kind of paint around until you get the crown. And remember, you want to move the crown in the front of the lion's head. It needs to be sitting on top. So you can do that afterwards, but good job. All right, anyone else? Any other questions? Sure, Daryl, happy to. So the bloat tool. So once you want to make sure you're on your layer, your first layer, the Napoleon layer, layer 0 in my case. So the Napoleon layer is right here. You go to filter. In fact, let me do a different screen share because you couldn't see it last time. Okay, here we go. So you want to go to filter, liquify. Okay, so it'll bring it up into this view, this different view mode. On your left-hand side, you have a lot of different tools you can use, but the tool that we're using to get this effect is called the bloat tool. So it's this little circle. If you hover over it in the middle, B on the keyboard will access the tool. It's the one with the 4 arrows going around it. So that's the bloat tool. And you just kind of click once or twice. Don't hold it down or it will warp the picture. Just once or twice will kind of bulge out some of the areas. The idea here is to try to make him look beefy because he's a lion and not a skinny Napoleon. But I've already gone over this so many times, you can kind of see how it's starting to look fake. So I'm gonna back off, but just click once here or there until you get the effect that you're looking for. Does that help, Daryl? And once you like what you have, yeah, liquify. And then once you like it, just hit OK, and then you'll see the effects take place on your layer. Probably need to do his foot. I didn't think about that. His foot might need to be bloated a little bit. Okay, anybody else? Any other questions? No, don't worry. Just practice tonight. Go over the recording tomorrow, and then tomorrow night I have open lab, so you can come in and we can tweak your photos and get it submitted on time or submit worthy. Yeah, and you guys don't have to add the skulls in there. You just need like an additional element if you want. So you're more than welcome to use this tutorial. You can use this one, Daryl. Yep. I'm totally fine with you copying the work because you obviously have to create the steps your own. You're welcome to do something. I just want to make it easy on you guys. So you're welcome to copy this if you feel comfortable with it, or do something on your own, whatever you want to do. I will show you how it's used. I was going to talk about composition earlier. I just want to make sure we got this tutorial in the bag before we move forward. But I grabbed this photo, the Sobe drink, on Google. You don't have to use animal skulls, Arthur. You can use whatever you want as long as it makes sense. You could even put a human skull in there and then he'll be terrible king of the jungle. So I'm just gonna, you don't have to worry about following along with this necessarily. I was just gonna show you why you would use these techniques that we're using to create an advertisement for Sobe. I'm just kind of highlighting this. I'm using a tool we haven't used just yet, just to kind of cut out an object. This also worked if you found a PNG picture on Google. Just search Sobe PNG, and that would already give you a cutout. And what I'm doing is I'm just trying to cut it out of this photo real quick. All right. All right, I'm going to paste it. Oh, whoops. I need a bigger. Absolutely, Daryl. What's your question? Yeah, absolutely. Let me just show this real quick and then we'll move on to you. I just wanted to show you where you would use this. I've already got the cutout of the bottle, and then I went online and I found some water splashes. Let me see if I can, here they are. I found a PNG water splash. So it kind of gives a really cool effect if you wanted to try something like this. And then here's where you would add a layer mask, just like we've been doing. Go to image, whoops, save it. Image, sorry, layer mask, reveal all. And then again, the same steps, black in the foreground, white on your paintbrush. This is where you'd kind of paint it in. So as you can see, we're already starting to do a little bit of layer composition. I'm going to grab this paintbrush and make it just a little smaller so I can get to the edges. This allows me to get in a lot closer. It gives a little layered effect. So this is a neat way, or you could also incorporate fruit. Bring this in. Yeah, it's important to remember the commands, but eventually it'll become second nature to you guys. So then it won't. Then you'll get it. Paint this orange here. And then once I've got that, I'm going to bring it behind these layers. And so there's a lot of cool, fun things you can do. You could add another piece of fruit over here. So, and then you can add a tagline. So this is kind of the idea with the compositions. As you're doing this, yes, we're doing a fun one with animals, but this is kind of the idea of what you use it for, to actually create an advertisement for real life products or services. Okay, let's go to the floor. Looks like Arthur had a question. Or Daryl had a question. Daryl, go ahead and share your screen. Okay, and I'll unmute you. Okay, Daryl, go ahead and if you can hear me.
Yes, I understand that you wanted this whole background like kind of darker and everything. And
Yes.
by the time I had actually got the background, I was like 2/3 already done. And I know there's a way that you can go ahead and make this whole entire picture like just a little bit darker, but I cannot for the life of me figure out.
Well, what you could do, two things. You can mess with the modes under your normal drop-down menu under your layers panel. See where it says normal under your layers panel. Do you see your layers? Normal, yeah. You can kind of play with it, find a setting that would maybe, yeah, make sure you're on the right layer. Another thing is you can delete your layer mask and then try it again. I think.
Why is it only doing the?
Double click on your picture, the actual picture. Hit OK. I think your layer mask was done backwards. Oh no, oh you erased it, that's why. Okay, so basically there is no layer mask on here because you erased it completely around the edges. So I would honestly try starting over again. It won't take very long. Just double click on the layer. Yeah, and just drag it to the trash can.
Wait a minute. And
now you make sure that, let's see, just move your background behind every layer except your Napoleon. There you go.
Okay.
All right. So now add your layer. Or your layer mask. Yeah, reveal all. And then there you go.
Okay.
Oh, I see what it is. So it looks like your canvas is a lot bigger than your actual picture.
Yeah, I put it 9 by 9 because I didn't know what size.
Yeah, so way you could probably do, well, I think there's a way to get around it. If you can come tomorrow, I'll show you how to get it back to where you need it. It's a simple fix. It just, once your picture is done, we'll go in and.
That's the reason why I had actually had it all stretched out and I was going to stretch it out just a little bit more.
Got it. No, don't do that. We'll just work with what you have.
Okay.
Yeah. Just work within that Napoleon picture because and then we'll copy everything and put it into a new file. So.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. So try doing that with your background and seeing if that works. I'd set your opacity on your paintbrush to like 5%, and that'll maintain the dark background that you really want. Okay. And let me know if you get stuck. Sorry, I muted you. What did you say?
Oh, I said all right.
Okay. Sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off. Telephone. Okay. So, and then Tamara's got a question. So, of course you can. Okay, Tamara, go ahead and. Oh, whoops. Click out. Go ahead, Tamara. Well, that's looking nice. Very good job. Okay, so let me unmute you if you'd like to talk. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to see. If it was kind of looking the way where you wanted the.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as like the whole thing or just certain parts.
Just certain parts.
Okay.
Because I haven't gotten to the using the tool yet.
Yeah. So the background looks good. What I would do is click on your jungle layer. So Tamara, you've done an excellent job putting all the pieces in. I think what we need to do is to fine tune it. We need to make sure we work on proportions. So the crown looks like it's almost bigger than the lion's head. So I would probably suggest making that crown a little bit smaller. That would be my first suggestion. But on the jungle layer, if you click on the jungle layer first, I'll go ahead and then click on your normal. See that drop down menu, normal, under your layers panel, right where you were, where it says normal. Yeah, those are your modes. If you can click on pin light, I think that was what it was. Pin light. Do you see that? That's one I used, and it seemed to give a really cool effect. You might have to, there you go. So that it kind of is a little bit more forgiving with our eraser or paintbrush marks. So I like that background. I would adjust your crown so that it's not overpowering the lion's head. But as far as everything else, I think it's looking very good.
Let's see.
And then you can bring it in tomorrow if you can come, and we can work on it, and it should be good to turn in. And again, just a reminder to everyone, some of you have already taken advantage of it. If you come into the open lab and once you finish your assignment, I can give you a grade there. I can grade it in class.
Is that too small?
I think it's a lot better than what it was. So yeah, that looks good. Just kind of position it on his head and then make sure it's in the front so that. But there are a few tweaks I'll have you make, Tamara, not in class, but when we leave. So I want you to play with the burn and the dodge tool on the lion's head. Not now, but later tonight. Just kind of along the edges. We want to create some shadow. We want to make sure we get the edges. I see some dark around his mane on the top left there, and some dark around that crown. I'd clean all that up. It looks like he has like this gray glow around him. So I kind of clean that up using those two tools. And then, but other than that, that looks really good. So the background looks awesome. The crown much better. And then you can kind of bloat him up as you want. So I think you're on the right track. Great job.
And the way you used the bloat tool was
you go to filter, liquify.
But I need to be on the.
You need to be on the layer that you want to work on. So you want Napoleon's layer. Mm-hmm.
Layer 0, filter.
And then go to liquify.
There we go. And which one is the bloat tool?
The bloat tool, just hover it until you get to it, right there. So click it, and then just kind of click once or twice around the arms. You'll see it start to bloat. But make sure you don't do it so much that it looks fake, just kind of in different places. You want his hands, maybe his feet, his arms, forearms, and just kind of play around with it. And then bring it to class tomorrow. We can go over it. All right, guys, that kind of concludes class for today. Anyone have questions before if you have more specific questions about, if you want me to look at it or we can go over some tweaks, bring it in tomorrow. I'd be happy to go over it for you guys. All right, so Joshua, go ahead and bring your screen in. Oh, I see your crown is there. I'm going to unmute you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I see a crown.
The crown is here, but like the top of the crown here, I kind of erase it somehow.
Oh, are you using the eraser tool?
Yeah, trying to get this black thing out of the background.
Yeah, you're supposed to use your brush for that. So I would start over. I'd delete that layer mask. In fact, you're gonna have to bring the crown back in. So on this, it's important to remember, don't use your eraser tool, use the layer mask. The point of the layer mask is that so you don't erase the actual object. You're just erasing the background around it.
And then for the crown to be on the top, I just bring it all the way up, right?
Yeah, exactly. So your layers panel works in hierarchy. So whatever's on top, you see is the same thing as a layer. So whatever's on the top is the front. Whatever's on the bottom is the back. So just move it. You can click and drag layers to move them or hide them as you're working, and do it that way. So yeah, use your brush tool after you add your layer mask. That
Okay,
way you
so
don't lose the integrity of the crown.
okay, so we have to use the brush then
Uh-huh.
on white, right?
On white, yes, sir. And then,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. Just bring the sides down and then zoom in so you can get really close to that edge of the crown. So it looks a little bit normal. Again, want to show you, also use the dodge tool and the burn tool to clean up the edges of your crown, okay? Oh,
We're
whoops,
going.
undo that.
Let's see.
You didn't apply your layer mask. Well, it looks like your old layer mask is still there. So you need to delete your old layer mask and create a new one.
This one.
Yeah. Can you undo? Hit Command Z. Grab your layer mask and throw it in the trash can. Good. And then now go apply a new layer mask to it, and then you can brush around it. Okay. Try that and see if that works.
Yeah.
All right. So are there any other questions from anyone else who hasn't shared their screen? You guys good? I'm sure there are questions, but just bring it in tomorrow if you can. We'll fine tune it together. We have 2 hours to work on it. And then I'll have this posted hopefully the later hours tonight. It just takes forever to upload such a large video. So if not, the morning hours. Watch the recording tomorrow, come to class, kind of fine tune your work, and then we'll get it uploaded and you can be done with this assignment. All right, guys, thanks for coming. I know it was a little confusing, lots of steps, but it really does look good. You guys have done a lot in this class time, so I'm proud of you. Keep it up, and we'll see you tomorrow, okay? See you guys.